Healthcare Digital Marketing. This is Dr. Alex Engar. I am here to talk to you tonight about online courses. How do we start them? How do we plan them? How do we launch them? How do we scale them? Tonight is all about your questions. We're doing a Q&A about everything that we've been asked in the past, 2 years of doing this. But then especially I asked today in our Facebook group, I said, hey, what questions do you have about how to start an online business? Specifically, if you were starting a course from scratch, or maybe you already have one and you want to scale it, how do you end up doing that? So as you're coming on here live tonight, let me know, say hi below so that I know that you're live on here. And if you're on the replay, say replay so that I can give you a shout out. Tonight's questions are completely from you, and they're going to guide what we talk about. You're going to hear little voices in the background because y'all know that I work from home, and we just ate dinner. There's a whole bunch of little kiddos here, so we're probably going to have some visitors. You can say hi to them all too. This is the entrepreneur life. Gotta love it. Tonight, I hope to give you a little bit of inspiration and some confidence in the fact that you can do this. And what I want to make sure that you know tonight is that the things that Will and I have done can be done by any physical therapist, any occupational therapist, any speech therapist, any therapist anywhere, because we haven't done anything that it's no superpower, right? What I want to talk about tonight are the things that really matter in growing online. Most of you listening to this are probably thinking of doing it the wrong way. How do I know that? Well, y'all ask us questions, and y'all ask us the questions that let us know that you're probably approaching this backwards. So I want to rewire how you're thinking about this tonight. I also want to rewire one of the most fundamental misunderstandings that's out there about online courses. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. But first, I want to get into some of your questions. Bill, thank you for coming on live. Sherry, good to see you on here. I'm so excited about your book launch. Absolutely, just can't believe how cool this is. I think, Sherry, it was you who posted about having a book that you've launched that's on this fairly prestigious list. I love it. Kristen Smith, the Kristen Smith is in the house, everyone. Kristen, I cannot wait to see you in, what are we, a week and a half away? Not even a week and a half. Kristen has been killing it, by the way, with some people behind the scenes. Like, she is rocking it with Facebook ads. And then I was actually talking to Cameron Garber, and he was talking about some emails. He's like, dude, I finally got these emails queued up. And I was like, my goodness, that's amazing, man. He's like, yeah, Kristen did such a good job. I was so proud, Kristen. So excited for you. Joel is on. Joel, I don't know if it's Joel or Joel. Great to see you on here. Thank you. Stephen Dunn, the man. Holland is on. Andrew, Stephanie, thank y'all for joining us. Sarah, good to see you on here. Tonight, if you are thinking or you have ever thought about creating a course, if this is something that you're seriously considering, or you're maybe actively in the process of doing it, if in the next, let's say, year to maybe 2 years, like I'm going to put it out, maybe 2 years, if you want to create a course, just put course below. So I know if you're serious about this. If you're not, if you're just like, hey, that sounds really cool, I might want to do it, then this probably isn't the live stream for you. I would invite you to focus on whatever it is you need to focus on right now, okay? You got to ditch shiny object stuff. And then I really want to make sure that we hone in on things that you should actually be doing and not just talking about it, okay? So, oh my goodness, Tracy, share everyone. Tracy, the queen of courses in physical therapy is on here. This is amazing. Tracy, thank you so much. Good to see you on here. Stephen, glad that you're on live, man. Long live Rocket Tooth. Stephen's son, by the way, one of the most entrepreneurial, adventurous little kiddos that I've met, came up to me at SSPT Live and said, hey, will you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Gave me a business card, no less. A business card for his channel, Rocket Tooth. I love it, man. That just made me so happy when I saw that. Oh my goodness. Y'all make me so happy. I just got to say, it is so cool to have a group of people who are so dedicated to doing things differently in healthcare. Y'all just blow me away. And when I look at the status quo out there and what most people tell you is possible in healthcare or as a healthcare provider versus what you guys are doing, it's on a whole nother level. It's on a whole nother level. So tonight, let's get specific about what we should actually do with online courses. Sherry says her course is live now. Yes, I love it. Bill says course as well. All right, let's dive into questions here. And I want you to ask specific questions. By the way, the more specific of a question you can ask, the better of an answer you will always get. I firmly believe that the better the question that you can formulate for yourself, the quicker your progress forward is going to be. If you ask general questions, both to yourself and out into the world, you're going to get very general answers. Ask specific questions. Okay. So tonight I want to know, what are your specific questions? This is basically free coaching tonight. Okay. This is something that Will and I do at a deep dive level with the people who are in our programs, where we help them build online courses, and not just build online courses, but actually have people to fill those courses up. We help them validate their ideas, and then we help them scale. We're going to be working with a couple people scaling webinars here. Y'all probably have seen them. And we work with a lot of people's webinars in the PT world now. Some of the biggest names in the industry, but also some of the people who are up and coming. And my goodness, a webinar is such a cool way, once you have a validated product, to scale that. So if that's something that you're working on right now, reach out to us, because we've been working on some really cool stuff behind the scenes with webinars. So we can talk about that tonight. All right, first question of the night comes from my man, Jeremy Sutton. He just released his program for authors and soon-to-be authors within healthcare. If you didn't get into his course, you missed out. The thing sold out in, like 4 or 5 days, Jeremy. I'm so excited for you. Jeremy and I get to go to the OfferMind conference here next week. Jeremy says, how do I scale my course to serve more people without making so much work for myself that I can't serve them the way I want and that they deserve? So the question is, I have a course, I've validated it. Jeremy did a beta launch. We'll talk about that tonight. And now, how do I scale it to make it so that I can get more people in, but they're not going to be a massive time vortex on me? Okay. This is the quintessential question of how do we scale things, right? Jeremy, number one is we have to get really specific with the transformation that we're giving people and make sure we're delivering on that. Okay. You and I are going to talk about this in the car, I'm sure. But number one, make sure that the transformation is very clear and that you focus on process with your people. So right now, the transformation is pretty clear for Jeremy. He helps people go from having no idea to figuring out their idea and getting their book published. And Jeremy, you have a super clear objective with that. So what you need to focus on right now is not, how do I sell more or how do I market differently? It's 100% fulfill for the people that just paid you. And I know that you know that. But at first, when you launch a beta course, it's all about A, validating the concept, but B, working to validate your method. After you complete the beta launch, after you get those people in, all of your effort should go into getting people results and systematizing those. So find out, what are people asking you? What are people having troubles with? Where do people struggle in your course? Because once you get someone to buy from you, that is such a gift. You have to figure out, where is it that they're getting stuck in my process, refine my process, and be ready to accept more people. Because until you're ready to accept more people by having a process that's down nice and clean, then you're not going to want to scale. You're actually going to hold yourself back from that. You're going to be the limiting factor. I say that from experience. So Jeremy, focus right now 100% on getting a process down that is documented, that you can take people through over and over and over. And then you move from one-on-one coaching to maybe a little less one-on-one coaching to group coaching in your program, okay? Especially at the price points that you're at. Stephen Dunn says, I want to grow my beta course to a season 1 with momentum and buzz around my course. Basically, how do you grow from a beta into a fully paid course? Interesting thing is, both y'all are at a very similar point. And I don't know if you guys saw Stephen Dunn. By the way, Dean, g'day from Australia. G'day, mate. Good to see you on here. It's got to be early morning for you. How is the future, my friend? How is Thursday in the future? Thank you for coming on. And Sherry, I just saw your question. I'll get to it. But same thing for Stephen, right? Once we validated it, get people results and publish those results. The best thing you can do, and Will and I are terrible at this. It's actually really hard for us. But the best thing that you can do is ask people to give you testimonials when they get results from your programs. And I'm still really figuring out how I can do this it's so hard for Will and I to be like, will you please brag a little bit? But we get such good results for people, and we're so bad at asking them for testimonials. It's like a little bit of a, I don't know, it's hard to brag on yourself, right? But when you consistently get good results for people, you should be able to brag on yourself a little bit, okay? But you have to. If you're going to build momentum, Stephen, then what you have to do is get testimonials, publish about those. Jeremy Sutton did something so well last night. He ran the first live video of his beta course. By the way, super smart. Run your beta course as a live program, right? You don't need to film the whole thing beforehand. Let's just pause there for a second. Biggest myth number 1. Okay, we're going to cover a couple of biggest myths. I'm going to actually cover three biggest myths tonight about online courses. Myth number 1 is I have to have the whole course finished, built out, and polished before I launch it. False. You have to have the concept down. Abby, are you coming on the live stream? You gonna do it? You gonna do it? You want to say hi?
Hi.
This is Abby. She's my ballerina. She started school this week, you guys. She started kindergarten. How was kindergarten?
Good.
Nice.
I get to eat lunch at the cafeteria tomorrow in school.
I love that the favorite thing about school is lunch. Actually, Abby's an insanely good reader, so she's working on teaching other kids to read. That was one of the most exciting things about going to school. You rock, Abby. What's up, babe?
No.
You just want to come say hi?
Hi.
Okay. Thanks, babe. Can you go close the door so the other kids don't say hi too much?
Daddy,
Yeah.
can I watch
Entrepreneur life. Don't you love it? When I'm done with the live stream, I'll bet we could do that. You guys are rock stars for sticking on. Thank you. The real world of doing online business. So we were talking about myth number one, which aren't I glad that I could keep it in my head. Myth number one is that you have to build the whole course out. You have to have everything ready. Like, I know a lot of you, because we talk about this, a lot of you are like, hey, what platform should I focus on? Like, what should I build my course on? A lot of you have spent lots of money already to build your course. And I'm going to tell you that it's actually better to launch it before you build out it, or before you even film one module. Please don't even film one module before you sell your course. That's very backwards for a lot of people. But that's what validation is. It's called validation because we get people to tell us, yes, I want that. And then we build it with them. We let them tell us what to have in it. Now, do we have an outline beforehand? Yes, definitely. But validate it first through live video with people. Like, deliver it live in a Facebook group. Guess what? That's free. Doesn't cost you anything. That's what we did with our with my travel hacking course. First thing in, we got 50 people, or sorry, we got 20-ish people into a Facebook group. We delivered it live. We found out what was wrong with it. Yes, babe?
Can I watch Top Dancing Princesses upstairs like so good, Grandma?
Yes, you totally could. Will you close my door?
Yes.
Thanks, ballerina. I love it. Validate it. Validate it first. Deliver it live. Figure out what's good, what's wrong with it, and then turn it into a course. So, Stephen, now's the time when you can actually go and build out sales, like good sales pages with testimonials. Now's the time when you can start posting about testimonials about your course, about the results that you're getting people. Build hype that way and publish, man. Get out there and talk to people. And one of the best ways that you can pre-launch a course or get ready to launch a course is getting engagement on your personal profile. It's very strategic. If you go back and look at my personal profile, like I get engagement on there. Right? And we should be doing that all the time, but especially before a course launch, if you're going to do that, you've got to get people, you got to get your stuff showing up in front of people's news feeds. And if you're going to do that without paid ads, you have to be social on social media. Okay, man? All right, we got some live questions coming in here. The man, Jeremy Sutton, has joined. I just saw yours come in, dude. Sherry says, do you use a program that keeps your course on your website and not use Thinkific or Teachable? For my very first course launch, I usually don't do any of those, and I would deliver it like live in a Facebook group or live through Zoom. We do that over and over and over with people, okay? Then once I like that, I've tried a lot of platforms. We use ClickFunnels, we use Kajabi, I've used Thinkific. I actually just left Thinkific and ported everything back over to ClickFunnels. I'm actually on the $19 a month plan, everyone. Woo! I'm seeing, just as a proof of concept, if I can run an entire business on the $19 a month ClickFunnels plan, just to show you that it can be done. And so far, it's working. Homepage, opt-in pages, 4-part PLF sequence, if you know what that is, where there's 4 videos, and then the entire course, the course sales page, the checkout page, the thank you page, the membership login, the membership page. All of it on the $19 a month ClickFunnels plan. So Sherry, you can do that on ClickFunnels. It can be very cheap. Or you can do something like Thinkific or Teachable. I really didn't care for Thinkific all that much. After being on there for about a year, it wasn't that much better than any of the others. Wasn't all that much better than ClickFunnels for me. Now, if you are building a course that's going to give people CEUs, that's a different story because you have to be able to give tests and quizzes and give a certificate at the end. That's harder to do in ClickFunnels. There are ways around it. You can use other software. But what Will and I do is we sell all of our courses on ClickFunnels or all of our membership areas on ClickFunnels. But then we actually build it out and deliver it in Kajabi. Okay, that's our favorite kind of stack right now, if you will. We use a couple of other softwares to connect those. You use a program called Zapier that connects any two softwares together. So that's what we do. And it works really well for us. To be honest, any platform can work, guys. At this point, they're all good. Some of them are just better than others. ClickFunnels for me is the best at actually selling a program because you can mobile optimize it, which is really important. Great question. All right, Jeremy said, live, kinda, can't hear over 100 screaming children. Well, I'm glad you could hear over the 100 screaming kids here. Brenda says, I'm trying to grow my course via in-person and organic reach, so it's growing slowly. You know what, though? That's the way that you should do it, actually. So Brenda, I would tell you that you're doing exactly what you need to do right now, considering where you're at with your course. You've launched it, you've built it, and now it's all about organic reach and grind, right? It really is. Can you go and run ads to it? Yes, but you don't know the messaging yet that will work to get people in. So I just did a course launch. I just did it for my travel hacking stuff. We're not ready to run ads quite yet. Nearly there, very nearly there. In fact, I'm going to run ads to test messaging, but I live and breathe ads, right? But just starting off, validate it organically first. Figure out what messaging gets people's attention and what the sales story needs to be, because you will use stories in your sales process. And you have to figure out what story fits your audience best before we would turn it into paid advertising for it. It's hard to sell things through paid ads if you can't sell it organically. In fact, it probably won't work. Kristen says, hi, Abby. Karen says, concept down. Thank you, Kristen. She is the cutest. Yeah, but Lisa, my kids love being in front of the camera. It's hilarious. Sherry says, how do you confirm that people have watched all videos and not have to grade papers or projects? How do you confirm that people have watched videos? You check in with them. Early on, when you're beta testing something, it's a small group on purpose. It's not, we say, hey, I'm limiting this to 15 people or 20 people on purpose. It's not just scarcity. It's that we're actually telling people, no, I'm doing this as a small group so I can keep you accountable. So we confirm that people have watched the videos. You can actually go in on ClickFunnels, for example. You can go in and see you can look into each individual profile and see how many videos they've watched. Kajabi, same thing. Thinkific, same thing. Joe Engar, my bro, my man, Joseph, is in the building right now. Joe's my brother. He's not even my long-lost brother from another mother. He's my brother from my real mother. Joe, I love you, man. We got to get together soon and jam on all this stuff. Karen says, launch before filming one module validation. Yes, 100%. Sorry, guys, y'all are blowing up the comments feed here. Will, thank you for coming on, man. Good to see you, dude. Will and I have some big things in the works, you guys. Ooh. Especially if you're someone who's wanting to launch a course right now. We've been refining our process for the past 6 months, really honestly kind of underground. A lot of you didn't know that we have a program that's walking people through this stuff. But we've been doing this over and over and over, and we're about to talk about something really big with you guys. They just charged me. Maybe I should put it to use, says Belisa. Yeah, maybe. Sure, yes, the $19 a month ClickFunnels is wonderful. We have a link actually to that, to how to get and use the $19 a month ClickFunnels account. If you want that video and you want to use ClickFunnels on the $19 a month account, just comment $19 ClickFunnels below, or 19. Just put 19 below and I'll know what you're talking about. I'll send you it's an affiliate link. I'll send you our affiliate link to one of our funnels that we use for courses, and then the video for how to use the $19 a month account to do everything. It's kind of a game changer if you're just starting out. But Lisa, thank you. I'll get that to you. Brenda says it's an evergreen course, so I just have to be patient. Yeah, totally. All right, let's dive into more questions. Kristen Smith, if you're still on here, this one's for you. She says, I have an idea, something like 0 to 250, how to grow an email list for mobile physical therapists. First of all, I love that name. It's super specific. It's what people want. It's a catchy name. It's what people want, and it's specific to who it's for. Let's just look at how she named that, you guys. It's amazing. Nothing but an idea at this point. I feel like it's a common theme with a lot of mobile PTs I talk to, that they have no email list. Yeah, and I see that question come up a lot. We get that a lot too, Kristen. Here's the thing. If you're validating an idea, post about it for 1 to 2 weeks. Get people talking about it, get people interested in it, validate that you have results, because I know you do, Kristen. So talk about that. Let people know you got to publish that you're getting results, and then you can put the feeder out there, the feelers out there to see hey, would anyone be interested in this? Hey, right? Just to start getting a feel, and then you reach out to people through Messenger, and then you have that conversation through Messenger, and you create a PayPal link for them to send you $50 or $100 $100, $50 or $100 to actually get access to the program. You deliver it live in a private Facebook group. You get them results. Then you scale it as a course. Done. Okay. Great idea. Jenny says, Alex, getting started with the technical side, not the content. So I would actually say, Jenny, unless you are at the point where you have already beta launched or beta validated your course, you don't even need to worry about the technical side yet. This is where most people get it wrong. They start worrying about what platform to use, how to set up sales pages, how to set up the course technically, when really none of that matters. All that matters is that we can get someone to pay us and that we can deliver for them. And that actually doesn't take any tech at all. It takes a PayPal email address so that someone can send you the money through PayPal. It takes a private Facebook group, which is totally free for you to set up. And it takes Zoom, or even just doing it live through a Facebook Live like this. And that's it. That's all the technical setup you need until you've made your first at least 100, probably $500+. Okay. So again, I just really want to emphasize that. It doesn't take all the tech in the world. If you are focused on tech right now, you're focused on the wrong things. That's the shiny thing. It really is. The thing that I haven't even talked about, and this is really myth number 2. Myth number 1 was that you have to have the course totally done before you sell it. Myth number 2 is that you have a great idea, so you just need to make it. Please don't do that. You have to validate it first. You have to have a group of people tell you that they want you to create the thing first. Otherwise, you're going to go down the road of spending 6 months building something that nobody told you that they want. So how are you going to sell it to them? Validate your stuff first. Talk to people. Well, how do I do that? What ads do I run? What XYZ do I run? Start talking about the thing online. Start talking about it. That's it. I made one post. Now, granted, I've been at this for a couple of years, and some people at this point know that I do the whole travel hacking thing. But I made one post where I said, look at this result that I've gotten. Hey, look, we get this result for other people too. Comment below if you want info on it. So like 100 comments later, I'm sitting here blowing up Messenger this week because I just said, hey, I got this really cool result that I know a lot of people want. I'm helping other people do this. Let me know if you want details. That's it. That's the tech. Now, I get it. I've done this for a couple of years now. Some people know that I do this. I have an audience because I talk online, but that's it. Like I talk online about the thing, and then I show people once I get enough engagement and people. So here's the other, like, okay, let's just answer this question right now. How do you know when it's time to beta test? How do you know when it's time to beta test? If this is something you're interested in, if you've thought about doing a beta test before, just put beta below. I just want you to comment beta. I want to see how many of you feel like you're getting close to beta testing something. Will Boyd says, but Alex, isn't that a lot of work? Shouldn't the internet automate everything for you? Yeah, shoot. Doesn't ClickFunnels just automate that whole process? Don't you have to never talk to people? Passive income? Just wait till secret number 3, you guys. Myth number 3 is coming right up. Beta launching, how do you know when to do it? And this is actually Buffy's question. This one comes next. She says, what would you consider a big enough audience and how engaged before you launch a beta? There is no hard number here, Buffy. That's the hard thing about this, is that there's some art to it. All I care about is that I can get 10 people to tell me yes. Maybe even 5, but definitely 10 people. If I can get 10 people to tell me yes by pulling out their wallets and paying me at least $37, maybe it's $49, maybe it's $97 for a beta test. If I can get 10 people to tell me that, I'm good. So how do I know when it's time to do that? The number one indicator of it being time to do a beta launch is that people are reaching out to you through Messenger, asking you questions. If nobody is reaching out to you individually yet, there's one of 2 things going on. Number 1, you're not engaging with people enough and telling them to do that enough to be able to have that happening. Or number 2, you're not hitting on enough of a pain point that people see it as worthwhile to reach out to you. So there's 2 things going on there. Either your topic isn't good enough, or your messaging isn't strong enough, or we aren't telling people to reach out to us, or we don't have the authority, the perceived authority from others yet. And so my benchmark for, hey, this is a good time to do a beta. If I'm consistently having people reach out to me through Messenger, like, hey, Alex, just got a quick question. because I have this all the time now in the travel hacking side of things. But Will and I have had it for a long time in the marketing side of things. When Will and I were in our group, we were way overdue, by the way. We had about 500 people in our group. And this was September of 2017, 2 years ago, in fact, almost 2 years exactly. And we started having a lot of people reaching out to us. We were talking a lot about Facebook ads. We were talking a lot about marketing principles, and we had people reaching out to us. That was my indicator. Okay, people are reaching out. They're engaged enough to stay in the group, to comment in the group, but then they're reaching out to me. So Buffy, once people are reaching out to you like, hey, I have this question. I'm really thinking about this. Sweet. Like, mental check mark. Cool. They're asking me. Excuse me. What are they asking me about? I'm taking notes about that. What have they done so far? I'm taking notes about that. What do they want? I'm really taking notes about that because that's what I'm ultimately going to create for them. And so Will and I, we were in our group doing all these live streams, and y'all were saying, can't we just like pay you to put this stuff in a course? Can't we just pay you to put this somewhere? Because it's so much good stuff. And we were like, oh, I guess so. Right now, we probably waited too long. But because of that, when we did launch our first product, we had 100 sales at $100. And it was mind-blowing. And we had about 500 people in our group. So could we have done it with less? Totally. Would it have been as epic? I don't think so. But could you do it earlier? Yeah. So if you've got a few hundred people in a group, heck, if you've got 100 people in a group, and they're 100 really engaged people who are also reaching out, asking you questions, like that might be the green light to say, hey, you know what? I got 100 people in here. They're active. I can get 10 of them to tell me yes. Sweet. I'll do it. Validation. So again, there's not a hard number. There really isn't. It's more of a feel. How engaged are the people? Because you can have 10,000 people in a group and none of them really active, and you try to launch a beta and it falls flat. So really, even before you launch a beta, what I would really recommend doing is getting on the phone with a few of your ideal clients. 100% the best thing you can do for yourself, marketing-wise, period. Before you launch anything, get on the phone with the people that you want to ultimately serve and ask them questions. And guess what? If you get on the phone with them and you have real conversations with them, then they will tell you what they want. You'll create a relationship with them, and there's a good chance they might even buy from you. It can totally happen. But guess what? That's not passive. But Alex, I want passive income. I just really want to be able to like post things online and the money just comes in while I'm sleeping. No, it doesn't work that way, especially at first. It doesn't. Stop lying to yourself that passive income is going to come by you doing nothing. That is not how it works. You know how it works? It works by putting in a whole lot of work for free first to help people and get a system down that gets someone results. Then it looks like you creating relationships with people enough to the point where they trust you to pull out their wallet, and you talk to them in Messenger, or you talk to them on the phone and you say, hey, I'm putting this together. I would love to get you in here. Boom, they pay you. You put them into a group, or you work with them one-on-one. You get them results. Then you start posting about it. Then like way down the road, we start worrying about automations. And that's when things like, yes, can you set up a course and can you have it live and making you money in the background? Yeah, but at that point, it ain't passive, it's leveraged. So I want you to make a shift from, I want passive income. If I ever catch you saying that again, I'm going to hunt you down and say, sweet, but are you willing to do the work upfront to make it passive? It's front-loaded work. That's why I call it leveraged income. Can you make leveraged income? Heck yes. Heck yes, you can. Can you truly make passive income? Yeah, I believe that you can, but it ain't happening in the way most of you think it is. You know what I made passive income on? I make passive income on my house. I sold my house last week. I made passive income on that. But guess what? It took a whole ton of money, and it took a whole ton of time. But guess what? I make leveraged income on my online stuff. And do I do the work for it? Yeah, we do. And is it hard sometimes? Yes, it is. And sometimes you still feel like a failure, even when you're getting people results, even when you feel like other people are telling you what you're doing is great, and you still feel like you're not good enough to do it. Yep, 100%. Do Will and I still feel like that? Yep, plenty. But do we still keep getting people really freaking good results? You better believe it. So you're always going to feel that. And this idea of, I can just put it out there, and I will start making money passively is a lie. It takes work, and that is not fun to hear. But it takes a certain kind of work that is way better than the work that most of us want to avoid. Think about it. If you're in the clinic, I just want you right now, put in the comments, can you imagine a type of work that you have done before that you just absolutely hated every single day? When you got to work and you felt this just huge pit in your stomach of, I can't believe I have to spend another 8 or 10 hours here. I can't believe I have to be surrounded with the people or the circumstances or the processes or the paperwork or the feeling of blank. Have you ever felt like that with your work? Look at the gnats flying around. You got to love this, guys. This is how it really works. You can't say that the work to front load online courses is any worse than that. My goodness, it's so much better. It's so much better. There's a reason I'm sitting here teaching marketing principles right now and not in a clinic working for someone else, being completely undervalued and feeling like I'm dictated by healthcare, by insurance. Because it's worth it to do work like this, because I can help people at more than a one-to-one. Because I can make an impact on people when I feel like it and in the way that I feel like it. And it makes it totally worth it. Leveraged income. David Eade says, how to affiliate with others, how to use their audience, how to start from scratch. How do you start from scratch? You start publishing, man. You start publishing. And when do you start publishing? Well, you start publishing the day that you want to start making passive income, aka today. Because that road to growing, it takes time. Like, it takes actual time and reps to get good at this stuff. For some of you, it might take like a couple months. For some of you, it might take 6 months. For some of you, it might take a year of publishing before you really feel comfortable doing this stuff. But guess what? You're going to get better at it so much faster if you just start than if you just wait around thinking, I'm too busy, I'm not ready, it's not time. So how do you do that? You carve out time. Guess what? I was not planning on doing this live stream tonight. I wasn't. But was I able to carve out time because I got the kick in the butt from Greg Todd to do it? Yeah, I was, actually. And guess what? This is the type of thing that it takes for you to build a real business online. You have to get out of your comfort zone. And sometimes that comfort zone can be sitting on the couch. Sometimes it can be not getting up in front of a camera. Sometimes it can be sitting there wallowing in pain, thinking about how terrible your life is or how sad you are about how you have to go to the job tomorrow. That's the comfort that you're choosing over the comfort of being able to reach a massive amount of people. And so I would invite you to choose the lesser of those two pains, which ultimately is doing the thing that you know you need to do. So how do you start? You start talking, man. David, you start talking. You do live streams. You do interviews. You create a show. You build a podcast. You launch a Facebook group. You have a YouTube channel. Whatever it is, you start talking to people. You start having conversations. You start figuring out what their problems are. You start seeing where the gaps are in the marketplace. Then we get into earning the right to come into somebody else's group, earning the right to come into somebody else's audience. But you ain't coming into somebody else's audience until you've got results with your own people. So how do you affiliate with others and use their audience? You got to be willing to build your own, man. Like, really, honestly, truly, you have to be willing to build your own audience. Can you leverage other people's audiences? Can you pull from them into your own? Certainly, but you got to be willing to build your own. Best way to do it right now, honestly, probably a Facebook group. AJ says, Alex, what's your favorite software stack? ClickFunnels, email programs, all-in-ones like Kartra or Kajabi. Pros and cons of what you've seen. Here's the thing. Will and I used ClickFunnels early on, and we loved it. We loved it. Because it's easy, it's simple, and it was $97 a month. And we love Russell Brunson, let's be honest. But then we started looking at, well, what is the customer experience like in ClickFunnels? And I would say from 0 to 10, 10 being amazing, 0 being terrible, ClickFunnels is like a solid 5, maybe 6. Like, it's good enough. It's not incredible. I still don't feel like there's any platform out there that's incredible. I don't. So what we end up doing, we sell on ClickFunnels, like I said. We deliver on Kajabi. We use automation with email through ActiveCampaign. And we use Zapier to connect it all. For quizzes, we use a software called Typeforms, and that's like all the tech we use in our business. I don't know, Will, is there anything else? We use an amazing thing called Process Street to keep our processes down for onboarding new clients, for onboarding new employees. It's the best thing ever. If you want me to do a live stream on it, I will. And we use Trello to keep track of tasks and stuff. That's about it. And we use Voxer. Voxer is a messaging app that we use with some of our top clients and to communicate between Will and I. Like, there's our entire tech. It's not all that complicated. We're running multi-six figures with that. Okay. MailChimp to start off with for email, totally fine. At some point, you'll outgrow it. You'll get really sick of it. And at that point, I'd recommend going to ActiveCampaign. We've been really happy with it. Karen says, oh, wait. Yeah, well, we'll get to another question in a minute. Karen says that she has, by the way, I got to catch up. You guys. What are we at? We're at 35 minutes. We're going deep tonight. All right, let's see. Brenda says, these are excellent points because it takes time for seeds to grow. Yeah, it is. Will says, cold calling Iowa alumni asking for donations is the worst. Will, you sound like you got some experience there, man. Ray says, yeah, sitting at AT&T long distance. Will Boy said, Wednesday night fever, baby. You know it. Hey, we're late for Tuesdays sometimes. We got to make up for it. Jeremy says, let's go, go, go. Love it, man. Thank you. Will says, Kajabi. Yeah, you know what? By the way, Russell Brunson equals man crush. Yeah, dude. Get to go listen to Russell Brunson this weekend, you guys. Tuesday, I'm going to listen to Russell Brunson. Oh, I cannot wait. I'm going to try to sneak a picture. Probably not going to happen with Russell, but it'll happen with some others. Marketing conferences are just the best. Anyone who knows me personally knows that, like, Disneyland and digital marketing conferences, I'm just in my prime there. I love it. I love it so much. All right, Karen, I think that you're on here, Karen. Tell me hi if you are. Let's dive into your course a little bit. Emma Green, good to see you on here. Thank you. By the way, there's a ton of you on here right now. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for taking your Wednesday evening, and hopefully this is valuable. If it is, just let me know. Just say this is valuable. If it's not, I'll totally stop right now. We've got a few more questions, though, coming in, and I want to answer your questions as they come through. Karen says that she has a program where she has a course where she wants to do exercises for stroke, but pricing is tough. Many are not working. Many of her audience are not working. I don't want to undervalue my offer, but I also need sales. Should I do multiple short courses and they buy what they want, or the longer one for less? Right now, most of my group are not living in my state, so it's not going to lead to telehealth or mobile visits, right? And then she says, should I tease for a longer course by taking people from my Facebook group into a Facebook subscription or website-based group? Decrease the number of exercise tips and videos I put in the free group, and say in some videos will be in the subscription group. My goal to offer relevant help, but get myself monetized to some degree. All right. Karen, first I have to congratulate you. Karen is just awesome, you guys. I love you, Karen. The fact that you are going in there, going live in this group, and just rocking it makes me so, so happy. I just have to, like, massive, massive thumbs up for you. I'm so excited that you're growing a group of people like this. And like, for some context, let's look at where she's at. She's got about 60 people in the group. She's early on. She hears comments from some of them, kind of the same handful of people, but view numbers are much higher. When she's offered free 30-minute consults, about 6 people scheduled. That's awesome. Mainly from India, where there's little rehab available. From those, I had more video creation ideas. Wonderful. She sees more engagement in other stroke groups run by stroke survivors. Most contributors in those groups want to share feelings, ups and downs, and looking more for emotional support. I don't touch much on that area. Cool. So, Karen, here's the reality of business. We have to ultimately give people what they want, right? So if emotional support and accountability and, like, feeling part of a tribe and part of a group are important to people in your community, I would say that that should actually be an important part of your program, regardless of what you're doing. Give people what they want. So if emotional support is what they want, well, guess what? There's a dude named Greg Todd who helps people build businesses, but isn't SSPT absolutely filled with emotional support, validation, accountability, like feeling okay along the journey? Totally is. That's not his USP. His USP is not, I will help you feel great about yourself along the journey. His USP is, I will help you break out of whatever job or situation you're in and build the business that you want. And yet there are those components in there still. So you can still provide that. That's the number one thing. If they're telling you that that's what they want, or you're seeing that that's what they want, build that in. Number 2 is 60 people is a little bit on the early side, potentially, for monetizing. I would look at how can I get this group up to 100? And to do that, I would use some of our Facebook group launch strategies where we essentially make an event out of the group. And we can say, hey, I'm going to get a bunch of interviews in there, or I'm going to do a live series, or I'm going to give away X cool freebie in my group that a lot of people would want. And we make sure that we get in front of enough people on our personal profile, get enough engagement on our personal profile from people who are in our target audience. And then they say, yes, 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 I want in. This sounds great. Awesome. It's going to happen on September 18th. Get in, get in, get in. We get a big bunch of people in there. Or I start going on other people's podcasts, which at this point you have the right to do because you have your own audience. You have a place for people to come to as you go to these other groups. So find podcasts in your niche. Go talk about what people can do who have had a stroke, who need to be able to exercise more or want to be able to have more energy, however it is that you can help them. Then you can start leveraging other people's audiences. I would get a few more people in there before I go the full monetizing route. And if you feel like growth is slow, then I would actually focus more on growth than monetization right now. I would say we're maybe still a little early on. And so the principle here is important. The principle here is momentum for your online business. We have to build momentum. And if we don't have enough momentum, especially if a lot of our engagement is coming from overseas, then the likelihood of them being able and willing to pay something that's noticeably like that matters to us financially is going to be difficult. So I would say look for people who have a problem big enough to pay you. This is one thing that Stephen Larson, who's kind of a prolific marketer, has said that I'm really starting to agree with. He says, you need to change your world before you can change the world. That means look at what's the biggest problem that you can solve for people so that you can get paid. Solve that problem by people who can pay you so that you have the ability, the freedom to be able to go help people that might not be able to pay you what some could. Change your world before you change the world. It's a hard thing. I don't know. How do you do that? How do you do that? Do you focus on going for a play where like maybe that's consulting for some people or working with some people who you end up selling high ticket packages to here locally or in the States first? Change your world first, and then you can change the world. There's a bunch of new comments rolling in. Okay, Belisa says it's a lot of info. Ha, it is. Thanks. You can go back and listen to this on replay, though. Hey, this is Q&A. I said this is live Q&A. A lot of times with these live streams, I'm like very specific, pointed and to the point. We're 42 minutes in here, and this is a lot. But y'all ask questions that are like the breadth of this whole thing, so I want to make sure that I answer them. Growth. Okay, awesome. Karen, you're on here. Sweet. Will says, I can't wait for Alex's Facebook group growth course coming. Dude, it's coming. And I mapped it out today with some of the last portions of it. Ooh, it's going to be good. Launching Facebook groups. If that's something that you guys, if you see the power of that, then you're one of the smart people who's going to get in on that with us. So last thing is, oh, sweet. That was the last thing from Karen. So the big thing, Karen, is growth. See what podcasts you can go on. See what other groups you can go in and do interviews in. Growth, growth, growth. I would get to 100 people before I worry about monetizing, probably. I think 60 might be too small. Question is, can we get 6 out of those 60 people? Could we get 10 to pay us $37 for something, $49 for something? If we can't, I think it's too soon. And I think, based off the numbers that you've told me, that that's probably a little too early. All right. Katrina, thank you for coming on. As we finish up, I want to know if you have any other questions. Drop them below. I'll do my very best to answer them after the fact. I just want to let you know that you can do this. That everything that I've just talked about may seem super overwhelming, but you can absolutely 100% do it. And when you commit to doing something much bigger than you've ever done before, it opens you up to a new potential that you've probably never seen in yourself. You have so much more that you're capable of. I want you to believe that in yourself. So how do we get there? How do we get to the point where we believe in ourselves enough to do the big things that scare us? you got to start putting yourself out there. You got to start actually making a difference for the people who are listening to you right now. You got to get people results. And then you got to start publishing the heck out of those results for people. But above all, you have to keep remembering that if you don't believe in yourself first, like no one else is going to. So go believe in yourself. If that belief needs to come from someone else right now, I want you to look inside. Look at what is it that I need to do on a daily basis to start believing in myself more. The last thing I didn't hit on is webinars. Nobody asked questions about webinars. I was kind of surprised. Also not at the same time. Because webinars are like a super advanced thing. If this is not you, if you're like, hey, I don't even have a beta yet, like, not me, then I just want to talk to you about webinars like another time. Okay, you can tune out right now. If you're really serious and you have a course that's working right now that you've validated, Stephen Dunn, Jeremy Sutton, a lot of other people in here who I know have courses that they've validated and now they're working on growing forward. After you get your beta validation, maybe you do the first launch of the course without a beta, without a webinar, like the first full public launch. But then after that, I would 100% be looking at a webinar. It's what changed Will and I's business. It's what took us from a few $1,000s of income, or maybe $10,000 to $15,000 of income, to over 6 figures in a few months. It's game changer level. So I really want you to push towards that as a goal. How can I get as much engagement as possible, grow an audience as quickly as possible by giving them things that they want, validating something with a beta launch, getting those people results, and then having a clear system that I can take people through? How can I get to that? If you're doing the right things, I think it's really possible to get to that point within 6 months. If it's taking longer than that, maybe it's a side project for you, and you don't have enough time, or you're not dedicating the time to it. But I would say that if you're truly serious about this and you really put your head down and get to work, 6 months should be like a no-brainer for you. If you're working on an idea that isn't right, that will kill you. If you're trying to build an audience that can't afford to pay you, that will kill you. If you're trying to do things out of order, building a course, building out funnels, building ads, before you validate anything organically, that will kill you. That's why honestly it's important to have someone who knows what they're doing help you along this process. Whether it's us or someone else, I really strongly suggest that, because otherwise you're going to waste time and money. There's a lot of good people that can help you out there. There's a lot. Will and I, heck yes, we help people. Guess who else does? Greg Todd, great at it. Kristen Smith, great at it. With email copy, with launching stuff. Aaron LeBauer, great at it. Paul Goff, great at it. There's a lot of us out there. Come on, guys. Go find someone who's done what you want to do, that you resonate with, who you feel like gets where you're at, and go ask them for help. Now, might that mean paying them something? Yes, it might. And guess what? We made that call too. When Greg Todd opened up his mastermind like 2.5 years ago and said, hey, Alex, I want you guys in here. It's like, well, Greg, we're not really like making all that much money yet. It's not really happening. But we decided to go all in. And we were like, no, we're serious about this. So we found someone. So find someone to help you with it. There's lots of different levels of that. What I don't want you to do is go spend money and time in an effort that is going to lead you nowhere. So make sure that you're validating it with people that you're building yourself. Build your own audience first. Can you accelerate that? 100%. If you want to, talk to Will and I. If you already have a product that's working well and you want to just like turn up the burners on it, talk to Will and I. That's what we do. Guys, this has been Wednesday Night Fever, the live Q&A on courses. I just want to say thank you so much for all the questions. Brenda says, thank you, Alex. It's good to know if we survive PT school, you can do stuff like this. Heck yes. Amy Briggs says, Lord, I believe, help my unbelief. Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Thank you, guys. This has been Wednesday Night Fever. Until next time, we'll see ya. Go make it happen. Bye, guys.